Okay guys, today Minnie shed her skin, and as you can see on her nose she has lost some of her pattern. Now what I think has happened is her previous shed, it seemed like her nose shed too early and it looked quite sore, and she shed not quite long afterwards. It's probably only been less than a month, which is quite unusual. Once again, the nose shed too early, and this time she took off one too many layers and now it's white. So what we're going to try to do is give it some treatment just to help it heal a bit quicker and keep it clean. Goodbye Minnie. So what I'm going to use on her nose is Sudocrem. This is an antiseptic healing cream. Very common in the UK. I don't know about any other places. Now the vet recommended that I use it on my chinchillas' ears that were kind of sore. They healed up perfectly, right? And she said it's safe because most animals, if they lick it, it's completely safe for them. Now I have seen people use it on other reptiles, though this is an annoying area because it's right on her nose where she can usually lick. But if I use a tiny amount, hopefully it'll stay on and won't be licked off. Now she's not going to like me doing this. She's trying to walk off. I've got a tiny dab of Sudocrem on my hand, but you want to make sure that the hand that you're using is also clean, otherwise you're just rubbing in a load more bacteria into that wound. So if I can get this in focus and she doesn't move too much, I will put on the Sudocrem. Now she has a really white nose. I could feel her tense up when I touched that, so I'm assuming it was quite painful. I found, especially with my chinchilla, that the Sudocrem kind of dries on there, but don't worry too much because it does actually help heal, and hopefully this will soothe the area and protect it from getting any dirt in it. So it's now been 13 days since the nose sore first occurred, and Minnie has started to go white because she's going to shed. Funnily enough, Gizmo's also going white. They both go white at the same time, and Diego and Ziggy go white at the same time. However, it's only been 13 days since her last shed, so that's quite quick. It might just be because her and Gizmo are both losing a bit of weight due to ovulation and all that jazz. But the good thing is we will soon be able to see whether this nose has properly healed once this scab comes off. I'm slightly worried about her eating the Sudocrem that's on her nose, so I have to keep an eye on that. By the way she looks, I think she's either going to shed tonight or tomorrow. So as predicted, on the 14th day she has shed her skin again. And this time around her nose looks a little bit better. I did expect it actually to be healed a lot quicker. I thought it was going to turn out looking like black or something like scarred. But no, it's actually quite white. I think it looks a bit better than before. I think that it looks a lot cleaner. There are no scales just hanging about that could potentially rip it further. I think it would take a few more sheds before this properly heals. But I'm not too worried now that something will get into it like I was before. I think it's got already a protective layer over it, just now it needs to make the scales and everything. If I do think that things are getting stuck in it, or it's turning a funny colour, or it could potentially get infected, I will of course put Sudocrem back on. Okay guys, 5 days ago I stopped putting Sudocrem on Minnie's nose, and I just went to see her. I've been looking at it and it's been getting darker and darker. I thought, oh, okay, it's going back to its normal colour, that's good. Notice it today, as you can see, there's like a cut in it, right? Which looks like a little heart, which is kind of cool, but it's not because it's like a dent in my gecko's face. So, plan of action. I'm going to put Sudocrem on it. So it's been 38 days since Minnie's nose sore originally appeared, and since her last shed, which was just over 3 weeks ago, if you remember, I think a week afterwards I put some Sudocrem on it. That did not rub off at all, and I've actually not been able to see how the scab is doing. So today she is looking slightly whiter. I believe she's probably going to shed tomorrow. So we'll check on her sore then. I really hope that just over 5 weeks later it's actually healed. So it's day 40, she shed her skin yesterday, and if we compare her nose to what it was like on the first day, it has definitely shrunk. A lot of it is healed, just the centre is it's the worst bit probably, that's still white. That's probably the bit that's got scabbed up quite a bit. So to completely avoid that happening again, I am going to put a little bit of pseudocreme on there, and hopefully that should last her till the next shed. But I think it's looking a lot better. She's actually getting her pattern back, which is surprising because a lot of people said when this happened to their geckos it just scarred. So hopefully it will look a lot better after her next shed. So it's day 52, Minnie has shed again. So it's only been 12 or 13 days since her last shed, so it really hasn't been long, and I think that's because she hasn't really eaten. She has been to the vet 3 times last month, so she's had a lot of stuff going on in her life. You can tell how long I've actually filmed this because it's been 52 days since the first clip. Anyway, this is the top of her head. Once again, I was able to get this off before she ate it. It probably doesn't matter if she does have any pseudocreme. I'm pretty sure they can eat it, but I'd rather get it off and check everything's okay. And so this is the top of her head, and the scarring is over here. And what's interesting is when we look closely, you can see that the scales are different there because obviously it's healing. And I'm happy to say that it looks like the pattern has pretty much returned. There's now only one thin line left. So hopefully by the next shed, it will be completely repaired. So it's day 65 and Minnie's nose has healed a little bit more. I would say it's probably the last time I'm going to film it because I think it's pretty much done now. It probably will do another shed and probably get a bit darker. But if we compare her nose to an old photo, you'll see that pattern where the scar was. It used to actually be open and now it's closed by the little scar. So obviously the pseudocreme didn't prevent the scar from just getting dark, which obviously isn't an issue when you have a gecko like Minnie because she's got loads of pattern over her, so it just blends in really well. But one thing the pseudocreme did do is it did protect it, because if you have something like this, whether it be a cut or a bite or even a skin scar like this, the pseudocreme will protect it. However, if it does look like it's got something leaking out of it, if it's turned a different colour, if your gecko is acting strange, I highly recommend you taking it to the vet. Someone told me that they don't want to use crickets anymore because a cricket bit their gecko died, and they blame the cricket bite for that. But a cricket bite won't kill your gecko, an infection in the bite will kill your gecko. So whenever you get a cut, bite or a shed and scar like this, make sure you protect it as it's healing. As I said, this has taken 65 days to get to this point, so we've gone through April into June. So anyway, I hope this video has helped and showed the progress of healing. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and goodbye.